Your Wednesday night Doddie live show with me, your host Bruce Aitchison, and it is a joy to be back. Last week there was a few gremlins that needed to be sorted out. We have dealt with them. We didn't use water, but we have dealt with the gremlins and we are all good. And please do not believe any rumours that I have just logged in 3.5 minutes ago. I've been here for hours and I am fully prepped and armed and ready to go. If you're around, please comment, please contribute. Let's see if we can get your name on the screen, and I hope lots of good stuff is happening. Some people were maybe a little bit delayed with the bad weather, and oh my goodness, some of your photographs have been absolutely stunning. Stop moaning about snow and enjoy. Build a snowman, throw a snowball, build an igloo. That's all good. We can rack up miles at another time. Enjoy it while it's there. And just get out and get going. It has been belting. And Doddie, for some, is the thing to get them motivated. For some people, they're just able to log the miles because they're gym bunnies and runners and they do all that stuff and it just goes and it's normal behavior. But it has got me doing more. Walked further with the dog this morning. Yesterday, I had a tiny little window to do something and I thought, right, I'm going to do it. And I made a Happiness is Egg-Shaped league, and I am getting absolutely caned in that league. So every now and then, I just have a little look, right? If I go and walk for a mile, I'm going to jump over that person. So I'm having a go. So those league tables, for me, are giving me motivation. For you, just do something, whatever it is. Anything. We'll take it. Swimming, walking, cross-trainer, running, treadmill, outside, inside, cycling with Rob Wainwright and Mark Bowman, whatever it is, just get busy. It is phenomenal what you people are up to. And I've got a massive buzz from watching what you've been up to. Anyway, enough. Let's get going. We have got two incredible guests. They are monumental in the MND community, these two heroes. We've spoken to them before, and I'm delighted that we've teamed them up for tonight. Now, I spoke to one of our favorite proper, intelligent science people this week in preparation for this, and I'm really looking forward to it because one of the most popular guests, and we get so much engagement. Now, the real talent is, can you make all that complicated science stuff into something that I can understand and you can understand? So who are you going to call? The one and the only Jessica Lee. Let's bring her in and say hello to Jess, who I think is waiting for us. She's on her way in. Are we there?
Hi, Bruce. What an intro. Thank you very much. Love being called a hero. I'll take that.
You absolutely are. And we've not seen you for a little while. Where have you been? What have you been up to? Have you just been kicking back, feet up?
It's been a couple of years, hasn't it? Well, I've just got back from maternity leave. So I had a baby last year. So she's now 1. So I've got quite a busy home life at the moment.
And I think the last time I saw you in the flesh, you were at the dinner in the November. I think that was after number 1. Was that right? And it was one of your first times kind of out the house, and it was hilarious. You were so happy. You were giddy with excitement.
That's what happens when you have 2 babies in a short space of time. You don't get out much. So you have 1 glass of wine and everything's amazing.
Everything's amazing. I love it. And you're now back into it, and in that time, things have still been going, the cogs have still been turning, and we're now at a point where there's some updates. So I said it in the introduction, you have been incredible, and we've spoken to you before, along with Sean McGrath and Dr. Tom and various others, about giving us those messages in terms and ways we can understand. So the floor is yours. What is going on at the moment?
Yeah, so I guess we all know why we're here. We know what MND is. And I guess I just want to bring us back to when Doddie was diagnosed in 2016. So, when he was diagnosed, he felt that there wasn't much hope. He felt that there wasn't much progress. And, when he was diagnosed, there was not even a clinical trial that he could take part in. And we are very far away from that now. So now there are various different clinical trials ongoing across the UK. a lot of people with MND are offered the chance to take part in a clinical trial, which is great. Not everybody, we're not there yet, but that's the hope. And I think that it's fair to say that our understanding of the biology of MND has definitely increased. And there's a lot of drug discovery efforts going on. So it's still, relatively early days, but there's some really exciting things in the pipeline. There's some exciting treatments that we've seen complete clinical trials, which maybe we can talk about later. So I think there's definitely hope now where there wasn't when Doddie was diagnosed. Obviously, I think the foundation has played a huge role in that. We've committed over £20 million now to research, but the community as a whole has really, really come on over the last few years. And that's due to a combination of new tools and technologies that exist, increased funding because of all the great people that I'm sure are listening today and supporting the foundation, raising awareness, raising funds. It's all so important. So I think there's definitely hope at the moment in the research space.
I love hearing that word because hope is what we're all kind of hanging on to. Now you mentioned Doddie 2016. Fast forward pretty much 10 years. I think we're in Doddie's number 6 this year. So there's a lot going on. I think we've had however many millions raised through Doddie, however many million steps have been taken. There's been 100,000 people take part. So there's been an incredible amount of work going in, and you talk about hope. So that money that the foundation is using or raised and used, but it's in collaboration with other organizations, isn't it?
Yeah, so we don't do it all on our own. So we co-fund with other organizations, whether that's organizations in the UK or internationally. When we fund research, we don't decide ourselves which research to fund in. We have panels of experts and people living with MND who rigorously assess every single research application that comes to us. So last year, we had over 40 people who sat on our panels, gave their time for free, reviewed the applications, met up at panel meetings to really kind of discuss them. We sent applications for written comment to people all over the world. And we sent them some little thank you goodies as well. So I think we sent them a little Doddie rubber duck and, a few things like that, just to really say, why we're so thankful for their help. But we don't do anything on our own. We do things in collaboration, and we can only exist as a research team because of all the researchers and people living with MND that help us. We also work not just on funding, but on kind of like knowledge building and other collaborative activities elsewhere. So there's even an international forum for research directors like myself who come together. So from Europe, from Australia, from America, and that's a forum that I now chair. So we're definitely don't do things alone. We do things very much in collaboration with the community.
I'm glad you mentioned one of the bits to your role there. Just if you can, and this is not that easy because you do so much, just explain what it is your role is within all this.
Yeah, so I guess my role is I direct the research program. I'm very lucky to have an amazing team who I work with, and we work with the community to collaboratively develop the research strategy that we've got, which is catalyzing a cure, and then we work with the community to decide where the funds that we raise should be invested so that we can ensure that the research is helping us to develop new treatments and effectively, ultimately, a cure. So we do that by really, understanding the landscape, being out there, meeting the researchers, meeting people living with MND, trying to understand where the priorities are, and then really rapidly getting that money that is raised out of our bank account and straight into the hands of the researchers so that we can make sure that the research is happening as fast as possible. So I guess that in a nutshell is my role, and it's very exciting. I absolutely love it. It's a real kind of honor to be part of it. So
it's amazing to hear you say that, because that when it's more than a job, you you just do it better, don't you? If it's more than just what you get paid for, you do it better. Just to pick up on one of the details there, because, and I wish I could remember who told me this, but someone told me that one of the great things about the My Name is Doddie Foundation and the way it has impacted the collaboration, quite often in clinical trials, the money takes a long time to get there. But the motor neuron disease community has benefited from rapid money comes in, money goes out, let's get busy. That must be something you take a lot of pride in.
Yeah, well, we're not here to sit on money at all. We're here to raise as much of it as we can and then make sure it gets straight out to the researchers. And even in the clinical space as well, we've got a new grant scheme where we are actually supporting 8 clinical centres across the UK now and helping them to deliver clinical trials, either to recruit more patients to trials or to begin recruiting people with MND to trials. So, we're making sure that we're investing in lots of different kinds of research, but like you said, making sure that it gets to the research and to where it needs to be as quickly as possible. And that's no mean feat. It comes with, a huge amount of organisation, finance, legal, the whole of the foundation is across that. But I love that kind of organisation. So it's what me and my team thrive on. And yeah.
Amazing. Now, sort of picking up on something Dr. Judy Newton once said on here, she said that or that's not true actually, it was in person, I heard her say this, the clinical trials, it has to be like Costa. That was the way she explained it to me, in that the trial has to be done exactly the same in that place as it is in this place, because that then means you can compare the results. So if you buy a coffee in Costa at the end of the street, that's exactly the same latte that you buy in the one in London. And that must take a lot of work. What's going on in that clinical trial? You've mentioned it a couple of times, and you've also mentioned hope. We're now at the point where clinical trials are happening. Can you give us an idea of what is happening?
Yeah. So when you talk about, things needing to happen the same way in different labs, that's true not just for clinical research, but for all research. And we've made great strides in that recently. One of the programs that we invest in is called the UK MND Research Institute. And this is 6 of the biggest centres across the UK are coming together and they're doing lab work. So they're using, basically, you take skin cells from people with MND, you can turn those into stem cells and then turn them into motor neurons and test different drugs on them. And it is such a complex process, but we now have different centres in this institute working together and they can completely mirror the process between the different institutions. And it is just amazing and mind-boggling how they can do that. So that kind of process of, replication is definitely something that we look for across all of research. And then when we talk about clinical trials, I guess one of my highlights of the past couple of years is a clinical trial of a drug called tofersen. So this is a gene therapy. It is only suitable, unfortunately, for people with SOD1 mutations. So that's around about 2% of the MND population. And it's the first real clinical trial that has shown effective slowing of disease progression in MND. There's only one approved drug in the UK, and it did not show this level of disease slowing. So it's really, really exciting for the field, and it shows that when we understand a specific population of people with MND, we understand the biology, we know what's causing the disease, we can create really targeted therapies to address it. So for me, that is one huge piece of hope for the MND community. But what we need to do now is understand the rest of the 98% of MNDs in that level of detail and develop therapies for those. And that work is definitely ongoing. And that's 100% what we're investing in now.
You mentioned to me the other day when we spoke, and you explained it brilliantly to somebody like me to understand. So you were comparing it to things to do like cancer, where you can take out cancerous cells and you can examine them, but that's much more problematic with motor neurons. Can you just explain that for us?
Yeah, so, well, MND is a massively complex disease, and I'd say that we're still behind in our understanding of the biology of MND compared to other diseases like cancer. And the reason, well, one big reason for that is in cancer, if you have a tumor in your body, a lot of times you can take that out of the body, you can take it into the lab and you can study it, you can dissect it, you can really understand each different cell that is in that tumor. In MND, it's massively different. So it's motor neurons that are affected. And these are cells that can be up to 1 meter long. So you can't take them out of the body in the same way and study them in the lab. And I think that previously has really held up our understanding of the disease. But now, I talked to you before about those stem cells. So, getting samples of skin from people with MND, turning those cells into stem cells and then turn them into motor neurons. This is a technique that, most labs are now using who are doing MND research. And it is so powerful. And we can actually test drugs on these cells in ways that we haven't been able to in the past. So I'd say that, now we're in a much better position than we ever have been to understand MND and test different treatment options in the lab. And so it's an exciting time for the research landscape, for sure.
It absolutely blows my mind that you take it and you make it into this thing, and then you can make it into this thing, and then you can test it. And I can't visualize it. I've got no real concept of what that is. And that's why it's so important that the MND community has that diversity. We've got the people like me who just use my mouth to try and help. And then we've got others who are cycling and those raising money. And then we've got people like yourself directing the research and the researchers. It's a real team collaborative effort. I spoke to you about this the other day as well. How do you stay motivated? What is it that keeps that buzz? You said you really enjoy it and you love it. Where's that coming from?
Do you know, it comes from every single aspect of my job. There's no having to keep myself motivated. It is massively variable what I do. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been deep in a contract that we need to get for a very big collaborative grant. And, I even love writing contracts, which might sound pretty dull. I love it. But then other days you're doing a lab visit. Other days you're out there meeting somebody with MND. And I think, the whole community all has that same ambition and goal and motivation. So being part of that is amazing. Being part of the foundation it's such a lovely team to work with. And I just love it. It's, I couldn't ask for a better job. And all I hope that I can do is really add to the landscape and make sure that we are investing the research in the right places. And I hope to look back in, 5, 10, 15, 20 years and see what an impact that we've had through our research program. And yeah, I feel very, very lucky to be here, but it's not a position that I take lightly. And nobody in the foundation does. We're all honoured to work there and work very hard towards the mission.
You're incredible. When we were talking the other day, and something I think I'd like you to talk to the audience about now, and you mentioned this when you were talking about the treatment slowing progress. What's realistic? Because, people like me hold a microphone or speak to someone and we hear others talking about, we need to find a cure. Every now and then I feel like we kind of need that reality check of what is progress, what are our steps towards that. And the other day when we spoke on the phone, you distilled it beautifully for me. So are you able to share that with everyone else, please?
Yeah, so I guess the first realistic step is to find treatments that effectively slow down disease. So real significant slowing down of disease is what we want to see. At the moment, riluzole slows down disease by, a few months, and that's not good enough. So we want to see a real significant slowing. And when we talk about a cure, I think often you hear the word cure and you think that would be, one drug. And in some cases, it might be. For MND, it is such a complex disease. I think that the most likely cure is very early diagnosis. So we're catching people before the disease has progressed that much, so you can have more of an impact when you treat them. And it's likely to be a cocktail of different treatments and drugs that are very specific to each person with MND. So I don't think there's ever going to be, one cure that is going to be suitable for every single person with MND, but it's going to be really tailored treatment combined with that early diagnosis, because we know that when we catch MND later, it's much harder to treat. Hopefully, much further into the future, we'll have treatments that could even think about reversing the damage that's been done. But I think for now, what we want is to make MND an extremely livable disease that does not affect your quality of life. And to do that, we need to catch it early and treat it quickly.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's really helpful. I think that message is so helpful. Doddie, right to the end, exercised. He went through a rigorous physio program. He would be doing all these exercises. We're going to be chatting to Davy Zyw in just a few minutes, who is still an absolute fruitcake and has thrown himself down mountains to hopefully qualify for Paralympics. Exercise, obviously not the cure, but it's just always good for people, isn't it?
Yeah, we know that exercise is very good for us, not just physically, but mentally. And, it's recommended by the NHS that we exercise. It is something that we should all do. And I think it's something that, lifts spirits. It, especially through Doddie Aid, can bring friends together, bring families together. And I think especially through Doddie Aid, it's so nice because it unites us all in this community against or towards the same goal. So I think I love the ethos of Doddie Aid. I love that we're all out there getting fit. For me, exercise looks a bit different than it did before 2 babies. Now I've usually got one of them strapped to me, one of them in a pram, and a crazy border collie trying to hold on to him on a lead on the other hand. So my exercise has definitely changed a lot, but it's a great thing to do.
It's so good to hear. And for you, with a job like you've got, kids trying to be normal too, to then try and fit in Doddie Aid. But have you found it has helped lift you and been good for you in those other areas of life when you've been able to get out and rack up a mile or two?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a family group and we've got an intense rivalry between my partner Tom and my mum. And last year, sorry. So Tom says that he technically won, and my mum logged her last mile after Doddie Aid had officially ended, but the app let her log it, and he still will not let that go. So this time he has to win, and he will not let her log any extra miles after it's finally finished. So hopefully he gets the victory that he wants this time, and I will just cheer him on from the sidelines whilst walking slowly with my 2 children.
That is class. I love that. I love it when you hear those things, because there's quite a few where there's some real battles within the league, and I think everybody else just loves to wind things up. I was getting a bit of stick on social media this week for being so far down my own league that I created myself, so I get that. Thank you so much, Jess. It's always good to see it. It always goes down well. I can see a few of the comments on the screen, and there's a lot of love there, as always. Just final words from you, a rallying call to sign up to Doddie Aid, to stay involved, to keep giving what you can give.
Yeah, well, I guess, we've only achieved as much as we have so far because of the community behind us. So thank you so much for everybody that does anything for us, whether it's a bake sale, whether it's Doddie Aid, whether it's hiking a mountain, running a marathon. We notice it all. We are so thankful for it all. And yeah, keep going. And fingers crossed Tom wins this year.
I love it. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Keep going,
Thank
please,
you.
and hopefully we'll see you in the flesh at some point soon. But and the kids have behaved. I've not heard one peep out of them.
Oh, I can hear synchronized crying happening right now downstairs. So my microphone must be very good at blocking.
That's Tom. He's just noticed on the league table that your mum's overtaken him.
Exactly.
Great to see you. Thanks a lot, Jess. Look after yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Incredible. And that's the beauty of this thing that none of us want and has been created, this MND community with so many focal points. When you think of My Name is Doddie Foundation, you think of Rob Wainwright and Jill Douglas and Hamish Weir, and there's people that instantly come to mind. but we need all the parts. We need the people who are recruiting people. We need the big fundraisers, the little fundraisers, the people raising awareness, the people bringing the My Name is Doddie Foundation to others who didn't know, to try and grow as much as we can. And we need the scientists. We need those people that are putting in that graft that, let's face it, jokers like me could never get close to. But when they're able to distill it down into ways that you and I can understand, it just all contributes to this incredible community that we've got. Speaking of that community, big handsome Sean, who is pushing the buttons and pulling the strings, has been working away all week and has put together a video along with Anna, who lots of you know from the foundation. The two of them work so hard, and we're trying to sweep social media and get people in. So make sure you're sharing those pictures, because you might get to see yourself on the Doddie Wednesday night montage. I hope I've given Sean enough notice so that he can cue us in. So have a look and see if you can see yourself. Montage? Montage. No montage. Earth to Sean? Montage. Okay, I'm going to keep talking and he can put it on whenever. Oh, here we go. Right, somebody's going to have to help me out. What's the deal with the onion? Somebody needs to comment. What's going on with the onion? That one has completely passed me by. The little Doddie onion. Please comment if that's you up to mischief with an onion, because if this is going to be a thing, let's all get an onion and let's get busy. If the onion is the secret, then let's go for it. Maybe it's to do with layers. Onions are all like ogres. They've got layers. So if we need Doddie onions, I'm in. Amazing to see all those people. Doddie Aid, £6 million raised to go towards the foundation to do all that stuff that Jess has been telling us. Over 100,000 people. We're almost at 13,000 people for this year's Doddie Aid, which is matching up to last year. So let's keep going, keep the recruitment going. It's 20 quid. And the good people at the Cycle Jersey have been having to go and make more snoods because they didn't make enough of certain things in certain places. So keep it going. Keep the recruitment going. It's 20 quid. You don't have to do any other fundraising. It's just an upfront 20 quid app snood. Get busy. Stop moaning about the snood not arriving yet, right? Kevin and his team are working hard. I promise they're going to get out to you. They've started to drop now. So hopefully it's going to get there. 20 quid. That's what it is. 20 quid. Get people to sign up. It's a great start to the year and it's getting people busy. Now, somebody who is incredibly busy, one of my favorite lunatics, and an identical twin. And I quite like to greet Davy with a kiss. And sometimes I get it wrong and it's not Davy, but I'm assured that this is definitely Davy who's joining us. He's been in it from the beginning. We all kind of fell in love with him when he did a crazy snowboard stunt at Hill End in Edinburgh wearing just his budgie smugglers. I think he's wearing more clothes now, but let's bring in the one and the only, an absolute hero, Davy Zyw. Hello, sir.
Hello, Bruce. Lovely to see you.
It's even better to see you because you are a handsome man. Tell me where you are.
I'm currently in my wee hotel room here in Kutai. So we're at 2,000 meters up in the Austrian Alps.
So that we're talking like this is altitude training being that high.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's generally the snowboard races will be in places where they're guaranteed to have snow at this time of year nowadays, and that is the higher the better. So it was my first day on the hill today after arriving yesterday, and the snow conditions are great. It's fast, it's sunny, it's still a little bit soft. I'm pleased to say because I did have a crash today.
I did see that on social media. You were talking about your first run and you took a tumble. How's the body?
It's fine. It's fine. I'm coming back. I hurt my shoulder in the summer. So it was a good test to see how that's healing.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible. Up high, lots of snow, beautiful weather. Austrian Alps. It sounds pretty torturous. You're obviously putting yourself through the mill in this training, Davy.
It's when I'm not quite glugging the glue vine and the après ski beers like maybe I once would on holiday. Because I'm here with a game plan, Brucey. You know what my game plan is, and it's a very competitive circuit, and the athletes I'm racing against are extraordinary. So I think I've got to stay off the glue vine until the weekend at least.
Until the weekend, I love it. Right, come on. I know what you're up to, but there are people potentially watching who don't. Why are you in Austria? What are you up to?
Thanks for the lovely introduction, Brucey. Lovely to see you again. I am. So I've been involved with Doddie since like Brucey since the very start. It's just been absolutely incredible to see how it has grown and manifested and brought so many people together. 100,000 people. I hope we can increase the numbers even more over the next few weeks. But I'm here in Austria. The reason I'm here in Austria, we have to look back to about 7 years ago. And 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. The year after Doddie was, and I became very close to Doddie, and then through Doddie, the My Name is Doddie Foundation, and then the incredible community of people who have been brought together by this not incurable but underfunded disease. Whoever's seen that snowboard clip of Hill End in my pink bungee smugglers, I haven't repeated that trick wearing that outfit since, but it's calling for it. I think Bruce.
100%.
But I've used to be a snowboarder after I left school to a certain level, and the reason I'm here is I'm trying to become the first person ever with motor neuron disease to get to qualify for a Winter Olympics and Winter Paralympics, which has been the most incredible year. So I've started this journey a year ago with my first year of competition. So I've been all across the world following this the FIS circuit, which probably doesn't mean anything to most people, but they're essentially like the UEFA of snowboard and ski racing.
You mean they're massively corrupt?
Hugely. I didn't say I'm staying on their good books.
Do you know? It's just when you talk about being all over the world, do you know what cracks me up? You're at 2,000 feet plus in the Austrian Alps, but the first competition I heard you were in was in Holland, which is known to everyone and anyone as the flattest country in the world.
I've been to some unlikely places. So I've been to Holland. Yeah, I was in the Netherlands in that wee sort of epiglottis part of the down the south of the country in this ginormous snow dome. So at least we were guaranteed snow that week. But the most unlikely place I've been snowboarding, Bruce, is Dubai.
I remember that because I think you messaged me saying, "Leave me alone. I'm in Dubai."
I'm in Dubai, and you're thinking, "What's Davy up to? He's getting a couple of cocky
on the sand dunes, warm weather training on the sand dunes."
But it was bizarre, walking through these shopping malls with people, with trolleys full of designer goods, trolleys full of them. It's not a St. James Centre over there. It's another level. There's me with my snowboard stuff, so wandering through. It was a bizarre, but the race was fantastic. Again, it was organised by FIS, so it was all very it was a great track and very strong competitive field. So, but I'm here this week. I've got this is basically the final block of racing, Bruce, to get the points I need to be able to qualify for the Paralympics, which are in March. So right around the corner. So I've got my work cut out. I think I was although I snowboarded to quite a high level before entering this racing. I didn't really know how to race, and that I didn't really have the technical race ability, which I've needed to learn this year. And I was a bit naive just how amazing the circuit is, how serious, how professional the guys I'm riding against. I mean, I'm so proud to be representing the MMD community in this field, but you have people who have been in childhood trauma, born with birth defects. There's a guy I'm good friends with who's in a shark attack, car accidents, who've served for the country and lost limbs. The human endeavor just to overcome their challenges, just to be on their boards is extraordinary. So it's an incredible, inspiring community to be part of. And what I love about it, Bruce, is when you're racing, when you're on the snow, there is zero sympathy. You're not the guy, the one handed Australian, the legless Austrian. No one's helping anyone. Everyone's there to race, and it's really refreshing for everyone because
that's what you want.
That's what you want. There's no baggage there. People are there to snowboard, and they're professional snowboarders, and that's what they do. So it's been an amazing experience this year.
And that race environment, that team, and like snowboarding to me, I'm never going to be a snowboarder. I'm not cool enough. Like I would be horrendous. And the whole thing though, the gear, the chat, it's cool. I'm guessing that it's quite a nice environment to be part of, and it'll be pretty supportive. And you must have raised their awareness of motor neuron disease by being in amongst these people.
Absolutely, Bruce. There's incredible, some cool dudes. The Italian team, the Japanese team. These guys are slicker than anyone. There's some proper dudes on the circuit.
I bet the Italians are super hot as well.
They are super hot, yeah. And I think they've been planning for their home games as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of time and investment has gone in, and really impressive team. But the M&D, the awareness. I mean, a lot of people as well. Again, it's highlighted something is a challenge which I think maybe the Olympics have, which is you watch the Paralympics, which are full of the most extraordinary people, but there's not many people with neurological conditions. Maybe cerebral palsy or MS, but the fact there's never been anyone with MMD in the Winter Paralympics before does raise a question why that hasn't been. And even when I had to go through this really difficult medical examination, it was really this odd situation where I had to get reviewed by the medical team of the IPC, International Paralympic Committee, to deem me disabled enough to be a para-athlete. So
What
there I am thinking,
what a job!
I hope I'm disabled enough. But then, of course, when you step out of the position, you're like, I don't want to be here at all.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not here because I want to be. Was
Yeah.
it one of those things of bend over and just hold the table there, Mr. Zyw?
It was a little bit of that. Coffee here, please. But the reality was they'd never seen anyone in MMD before, and they didn't really know how to approach it. They actually let me in because based on the weakness of my left arm and left shoulder, rather than the fact that I've got this progressive neurological condition. So there's again that needs review, and if I can highlight some of these issues for neurological conditions and motor neuron disease, if I can get to the games, then it would be such an amazing global platform to be shouting around and raising awareness for MMD.
Amazing, mate. I don't think you appreciate. I know you, but the level of admiration we all have for you and love for you, and you're an absolute fruitcake of the highest order, and that's the bit I love the most. So when will we know? When is decision day? When will we know for certain, yes or no?
So I've got I wish it was a bit more black and white, and so I've learned basically the different weighting of different competitions. The scoring's been a bit more nuanced than I would have expected, but essentially we'll know by the first week of February. And I've got two routes to get there. One is if I qualify with the points outright, which is what I'm hoping for, which will be dictated by the race I've got in Austria this week and a race I have in Switzerland next week. And then also I've found out that maybe a race in Canada in the last week of January. So between these races and the ones I can get to, this will dictate whether I have enough points to hit the British criteria to be eligible to be selected. So that's one route in. The other route in is watch my words here. The bipartite application, which is essentially like a wild card, and that can be used for any nations. And there's 8 slots available for para snowboarding for people who maybe haven't quite hit the criteria, but have got an incredible story and can bring either new people into into the sport or new countries. I'm making this up. If I don't know, Venezuela had a snowboarder who would never.
Be careful. I can't believe you went with Venezuela.
I know.
Surely you go. Jamaica have got a bobsleigh team. Like, come on, man.
But the Jamaicans, I think they qualified though.
They just won their first world title. The Jamaican bobsleigh team won their first world title just before Christmas.
Incredible. Yeah. So anyway, for nations who athletes from nations who might have not had the means or who can bring a country with them.
Okay. So. Well, let's not do it the Scottish way, right? Let's not wait for something. Let's just go for it and qualify with the points, and then we can all get. And it'll be one of those hilarious situations where you've got a load of jokers like me that have never stood on a tea tray and gone down a mountain at 100 miles an hour before, who all of a sudden become experts in snowboarding to support Davy Zyw.
Go faster!
Oh, he didn't turn very quickly there. He was pretty slow in the midsection.
That's it. But I love that element of the Olympics and Paralympics too. But I am. If I can make it, Bruce, it'd be so special. And as you know, I've done. I've done some other challenges over the last few years, but by far, this one is the most bonkers.
Bonkers and Davy Zyw, same sentence every single time. You've mentioned it a couple of times, and you told us 7 years ago your diagnosis. So how are you? How is it with you?
I'm I think just for myself, I think also I need to say I am. Was I lucky to get MMD at the age of 30? No way. But the fact that I'm able, able to. I thought I was going to be dead in 18 months to 3 years, like most people who are diagnosed. They're the hard facts of MMD, and the fact that I'm now in Austria with Team GB trying to race for a Paralympic place. I'm incredibly grateful, and the gravity of that has not escaped me. But I think everyone with MMD has their own story. I mean, I'm very grateful that the fact that I am here, and I am my challenge is, but I live such a full and active life with my family and on my snowboard. Myself, it's my hands and upper body which are most affected. You'll see me, Bruce, and I've still got a grip on my right hand for a handshake, but my left is now I'm very challenged. Progressive weakness and loss of muscle in my torso. It is in my legs too, but I think I'm trying to fight with every ounce I have just to try and maintain and grow any muscles I can, rather because I just think with my condition I'm on an icy slope, and unless I'm sprinting up the other way, I'm just sliding right down it. Forget the snowboard analogy, but that's how I see it. So I've got my own challenges day to day. Nothing is any use of my hands is it's not nothing's subconscious for me anymore. I'm lifting things up with my elbows. I'm gripping things with my teeth. I'm taking my phone out of my pocket. These things are difficult and take time. And anyone who's spent any time with me, where's David gone? He's still putting his shoes on. It's like it's things are slow and challenging, but I'm so grateful for the fact that it's slow to progress, and these are fine details in life. And yes, they cause me frustrations, but my God, it could be worse. And I'm so grateful for the fact that I'm managing such a full life with it.
You blow my mind. You absolutely. But your brother's sick of me because I keep kissing him on the cheek, thinking it's you, and he keeps having to go, Bruce. It's not Davy. Sorry again. You just bring sunshine, my man. You bring warmth. You make people feel better. You are incredible. I've never ever put myself in the shoes of Doddie or yourself or Mark or Nicola. I've never put myself in the shoes because I don't think I can, and I don't know how it would be. But when I hear you talk like that, it's ridiculous. And when you say things are not subconscious, I'm just talking to my pal Davy. I'm not talking to Davy MND. I'm just talking to Davy, and it's amazing how you do it, my man. It's amazing. And to be, like you say, you're in Austria, like you'll be doing stuff that us without MND couldn't dream of. It's inspiring. You are
Thanks,
awesome.
It's but say what, I've bitten off a lot with this snowboarding. Bloody hell.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't bite off a lot. I've got a challenge for you, though.
Oh, tell me.
I've got a challenge. You have got to get a snood on Kemi Alcott and Sarah Lindsay.
Okay,
if they're working for the BBC or whoever it is, you need to get a snood on them.
If I bump into them, I mean, because I never get on my board without mine. So
I know. I saw you today when you were doing your video, or you posted your video today on Instagram, and you can see it's in there. Yeah. It's gold, my man, gold.
Yeah. So that's why I'm racking up my miles this year. Of
course, yeah. And when you have that chat, when you're in those groups and you're on the slope, do people have a clue what motor neuron disease is before you speak to them?
No, and I think they don't. Often the Brits do, but I suppose the Brits I'm with are part of the GB team anyway. And I think obviously because of Doddie, because of what we've the foundation done, and others, MMD is it's well known and recognised in the UK. One of the challenges I've found with international riders or people I've met is that it's not called MMD. It's ALS in the States, or in Italy it's SLA, SLA, they call it. So these are one of the things which so people have asked, because as well, because when I turn up at the race, when people who particularly amputees, they've got bionic arms or legs or these incredible guys, but it's quite obvious what's up with them, and they're, and I'm, and they're like, hey, what's wrong with you, pal? I'm like, okay, well, do you really want to hear it? And then, okay, and then as soon as they do, I mean, everyone's been incredible. I mean, just incredibly supportive, and because MMD, it's recognized around the world now, and the urgency in different countries is, is just as urgent as it is in the UK.
Do you know if and when you qualify, one of your suitcases just needs to be full of tartan. Like just get as many people there. Well,
honestly, it's going to be in the wherever you look. I'm going to be as I'm going to dish them out like sweeties if I can.
Class, Davy. It's so good to see you, my man, and I know I speak for everybody. We are right behind you. Like, you've got the MND Doddie community, the power of all those thousands pouring into you. We're desperate for it to happen. So go for it, my man. We love you so much.
Big love. Thank you so much. If I can, I'll do it for Doddie. I'll do it for the MND community. And if I can get to the games, it'll be, I mean, it would be magic. Absolutely magic.
Mate, do it for Davy. Do it for you, and the ripple effect will be incredible. Just go for it. I love you. Hopefully I'll see you soon. I don't think I'll be in Italy or Switzerland or Canada, but maybe I'll bump into you down Porty Beach at some point.
Porty Beach, and you'll be allowed to. We'll have a kiss on Porty Beach, Brucey.
Love it. Cheers, my man. Look after yourself.
Thank you, Brucey. Thanks so much.
Love you. What an absolute hero. If that hasn't made you feel better, I'm not sure what to do. Go out for a run, go and skateboard, rollerblade, run, CrossFit, go and do something to make yourself feel better, because that guy is medicine. He should be on the NHS. I love it so much. Imagine if Davy gets to the Paralympics. We will be glued to that, and hopefully he'll be spewing tartan all over Italy to spread the word. Incredible. I'm absolutely blown away by both our guests. There's so much going on. CrossFit at Murrayfield, they're doing a 24-hour challenge. I got a little invite to go along, luckily just to spectate and encourage. So CrossFit at Murrayfield this weekend, Friday into Saturday, 24 hours doing crazy CrossFit stuff. Who knows? It'll be walking miles in the handstand position or some nut job thing that CrossFitters do. We've got the Wild Scottish Sauna and the Bob and Blether have pledged to do 2 million steps during Doddie Aid, and we'll be chatting a little bit about the sauna next week, I hope. Week 3 starts tomorrow, and it's all about getting together. So get together, share pictures. So next week, here's my challenge to you for the montage. Yes, individual pictures, but we're going to try and splash groups. Get together, get people around you, get the tartan on, and let's have a montage full of groups next week, spreading the love, spreading the goodness. Let's have a little look at these league tables. So we're inter-nations. I think we've still got the Irish topping that table with their average. 384 people in Ireland. So come on, Tricky McMahon, let's get your squad up. Let's see if we can get Ireland to 500. Wales, Mark Williams, for those of you that read Mark's Instagram and social media posts, if that's not motivation, I don't know what is. So let's get them up to 700. The rest of the world, there's 191 people in the rest of the world. David Attenborough would be delighted at that, because nature would be regenerating. Come on, rest of the world. Who can we pick up for that? John Kerwin's your captain, the leader. Scotland doing reasonably well. Apologies, folks. I'm probably dragging down your average, but 8,500 people in Scotland. That is magic. And England, I'm not taking my hat off because I wouldn't let anybody put the heating on in this house, but almost 2,500 people in England. That is top drawer. Well played. Folks, keep it going. Stick together. Let's come together and let's keep this momentum building. You've heard from Jess. Progress has been made because Doddie Weir made it happen, and he galvanized this ridiculous community that we've got to get going. And you people are doing so many good things. So please, please, please go for it. Get out. I don't really care what you do. Just do something and do it bearing the snood and speak to people. And here's another thing I'm going to challenge you to do. See if you see somebody wearing a tartan, please say hello, even if it's just hello. Or, oh, are you doing Doddie? Oh, what? Like, let's build that community. Let's build those bonds. Let's get together this week for Doddie. And I think there's enough time for you to put the kettle on before Traitor starts. We'll be back next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I hope you've enjoyed this show. I have. Genuinely, I am absolutely buzzing having spoken to Jess and Davy. Thanks for your time. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for getting involved. Keep it going, people. Montage next week. Let's get together. See you next week. Have a wonderful time. Look after each other. Doddie, Doddie, Doddie.